I have often heard that Israel is the only country in the Middle East that recognizes same-sex marriage. If that claim were submitted for careful examination by fact checkers, it would have to be rated lax context. Yes, it's true. If an Israeli same-sex couple is married outside Israel, and upon return to Israel, they register their marriage with the government, their marriage is recognized on a legal basis equal to that of other Israeli married couples. However, a same-sex couple cannot be married in Israel. You see, Israel does not have civil marriage for anyone. Instead, since the establishment of the Jewish state, Israel has followed a pattern established when the Ottoman Empire and then the British Mandate governed the province, then known as Palestine, recognizing several religious marriage authorities: Jewish, Muslim, and Christian. Muslims marry one another in keeping with their religious traditions, Christians with theirs, if their denomination is among those recognized in Israel. And Jews, well, that's complicated. The increasingly ultra-Orthodox rabbinate controls marriage rights in Israel. None of Israel's religious marriage authorities perform same-sex marriage in Israel, and that includes the Orthodox rabbinate. Transgender people would also have a great deal of trouble being married in Israel, certainly if they wished to marry in a way that is true to their gender identity, and if they wanted to marry a person whose sex assigned at birth is not opposite their own. In at least one important way, gay couples lack equal rights that opposite sex and even lesbian couples enjoy. Israel, eager to promote having children, offers fertility treatments and even surrogacy for most couples. Male same-sex couples are uniquely denied these services, which only the affluent can afford abroad. I have been deeply moved to arrange and officiate the conversion of children born to Israeli gay couples whose surrogates live in Arkansas. The surrogates are neither Jewish nor biologically related to the babies, who are always the biological child of one of the Israeli fathers. Since the babies emerge from the womb of a woman who is not Jewish, they are not born Jewish under traditionally interpreted Jewish law. They require conversion to immigrate to Israel, which means to go with their parents to live as Jews in Israel. Since the November 1 Israeli elections, one might understandably ask whether the status of same-sex couples will worsen in the Jewish state. Much focus has been on Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, leaders of the far-right religious Zionist faction that is the third largest party in the new Knesset. Even while focusing on the racism and fascism of this party, which Benjamin Netanyahu promises to include in his government, we also need to pay attention to Noam, a smaller party within that electoral bloc. Noam, whose spiritual leader is Rabbi Tzvi Tau, was established specifically to curtail the rights of gay, lesbian, and transgender Israelis. It is worth noting that Israeli police have opened an investigation into Rabbi Tau after several credible allegations of sexual assault against women and minors. Noam's initial legislative priorities do not seem to include restrictions on Israel's limited marriage equality. Instead, as reported by the Times of Israel, Avi Maoz, Noam's representative in parliament, has said he would legislate a ban on pride parades and reinstate banned and largely debunked conversion therapy. A study published in the prestigious medical journal JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association Pediatrics, found so-called conversion therapy causes serious emotional harm to LGBTQ people and can be deadly, but it also comes with a high financial cost to individuals and society as a whole. Conversion therapy, legal in Arkansas, is banned in 20 states in the District of Columbia and banned for minors in 6 additional states. One might think that a proposed ban on pride parades would be a relatively small and symbolic matter. However, even if we could lay aside concerns about civil rights issues like freedom of assembly, pride parades raised deep emotions in Israel. In 2015, 16-year-old Shira Banki died from wounds sustained when she was stabbed by an ultra-Orthodox man while she was marching in Jerusalem's Gay Pride Parade. She had taken part in the parade to show solidarity with her LGBT friends. To his credit, Netanyahu, who was prime minister at the time, said she died because she bravely supported everyone's right to live their life with dignity and security. He further vowed to vehemently reject the attempt to spread hatred and violence. Now, as he assembles the coalition government, likely including a party founded on the basis of hatred of gays and lesbians, Netanyahu's 2015 commitment is put to the test. While our Jewish tradition does recognize a variety of gender identities, the Torah does not know of sexual orientation. While the Bible includes loving relationships between people of the same gender which may be understood as homoerotic, there is no same-sex marriage in Torah. In this week's Torah portion, Chayyei, though, we are blessed with a narrative about a loving relationship consummated in marriage that may be instructive as we consider marriage equality. In what Rabbi Nama Kelman describes as a 65-verse novella, Genesis 24, one of the longest chapters in the Torah, describes a journey by Abraham's unnamed servant to identify a wife for Isaac and to bring the woman, Rebekah, back to the promised land to meet her betrothed. Rabbi Kelman describes a key portion of the story. In this narrative, we learn about the Torah's first arranged marriage. In the ancient world, a woman went from her father's household to her husband's, with or without her consent. What is striking, however, is that Rebekah is asked for her consent, although the arrangement is already signed and sealed. Not only is she asked for and gives consent, she falls off her camel at the side of Isaac as if smitten by love at first sight. More importantly, we learn that Isaac brings her into the tent where he loves her and is comforted by her. Everybody, whatever their gender identity or sexual orientation, deserves an equal right to join their life with the person whose love knocks them right off their camel. Thanks to a critical vote in the United States Senate, marriage equality is more secure in the United States this week than last. Gay, lesbian, and transgender Israelis deserve no less. The responsibility today rests upon the once and future Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Let him live up to the commitment he made in 2015 to combat hatred based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Then may Israel, like the United States, Canada, and so many other democratic nations, offer true marriage equality to all.